Hey, welcome to Youth Plus, our Waters Youth podcast. We don't have youth tonight, which is super sad. We're canceled because of the snow. But we decided to jump on here and do a little live stream, jump on the podcast. And we're excited about coming at you guys tonight with a few questions. We had some students just write some stuff in. Michaela, how do you feel about the podcast?
Oh, the podcast? Just in general?
Youth Plus.
Honestly, I'm pumped. Luke, were you going to say something?
My wife Sarah calls it the youth tube.
Oh, yeah, which is kind of catchy. I'm not going to lie.
It's fine. It dates.
Yeah.
It dates us a little, but maybe I'll catch on.
You know what? Maybe we should ask the viewers their thoughts.
Yeah, youth tube or youth plus.
Which one?
We're pretty set on Youth Plus. Being that we do have like a little sign for it, we could just order a new one.
We could.
We could. But I don't know if we will. Some fun news, guys. If you didn't know, I just figured because it's just happening. We have Pastor Michaela with us. We've just hired Michaela as one of our youth pastors, and so she's now a part of our team, which we're excited about.
Let's go,
Michaela. Please share just your whole life story with us.
Wow,
being that
my whole life story.
Maybe people don't know you.
Okay, how many minutes do I have?
You have 20 seconds.
20 seconds, got it. From Little Falls, Minnesota, right,
Yeah.
Luke? Probably like the best town
School
around.
Flyers.
Let's go. Grew up there, went to college at Bethel University, came back, had no idea what I was doing with my life. Luke asked if I wanted to be a youth leader, and I thought, why not? And have been on the youth team for, 4 or 5 years now. And have just seen God continue to call me deeper and further in ministry, which I never thought was even a possibility or an option in my life. And here we are.
Yeah.
Was that 20 seconds?
I think you went over, so maybe we can just cut out the end part. But it was good. No, that was really good.
The part about like how God was calling me. Yeah.
We can
Okay.
get that part out.
Okay.
No, but for real, that's awesome. And like Michaela said, she's joining our team, and we'll be working with our junior high students, which is super cool. So we're excited she's on the team. But tonight we had some of our students write in some questions. If you guys maybe on Instagram wrote some questions in, so we're just gonna take some time tonight and ask some questions. And we have a lot. Some of them were written in by our good friend Joey. And maybe we'll get to those at some point. Maybe. We'll see. Here's the first question. Guys, Chick-fil-A or Cane's? Thoughts on Chick-fil-A versus Cane's?
Easy.
Okay. You have to give specific reasons.
Yeah.
Though. You can't just say, like, we know what you're going to say, but
in.
why? Tell us why right here, Pastor Luke.
Yeah. I enjoy Cane's. It's fine. It's good. But Chick-fil-A is where it's at. Multiple sauce options.
That's true there.
Just straight up kind of like menu options too. I mean, you got different kinds of sandwiches. You got grilled. You got spicy. You got cool wraps. You got salads. They're always trying something new. It's like a barbecue smokehouse. Like so many fun things. They have seasonal things. There's just more options there. And it's a faith-based company as well. They have a Playland. I'm in a season of life right now where I got 2 kids under 3, or like 3 and younger.
Can we just stop them at
And I mean, I could keep going on. And they got fun.
Where's his 20 seconds?
All right. You're done.
Good luck.
Yeah, we're saying in the back that there's 3 seconds left. Michaela, that's good. That's like those are good reasons. We're going to take that into consideration in the 2 out of 3 here.
Yeah.
Michaela, go ahead.
You know, if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I would have probably fought for Cane's all the way. And I wouldn't have even like had 2 seconds, like instantly Cane's. But I can agree with Luke. They have some more options. And I tried a Chick-fil-A sandwich earlier this year, and I was like, you know what? It's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
That's big for Michaela.
It is.
It's good.
Honestly, I first thought it was really overhyped by like some people in the room here. And then I tried it. I was like, I'll give it a shot. And honestly, their salads are really good too. And it's kind of hard to find like a really like fast salad, you know? They have lots of options. So I'm going to say Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
2 years ago, me would not believe that I'd be saying this right now.
Well, God is
yeah.
good.
Jake,
It
what
is-
about yourself?
It is. I mean, it is good. I think
Yeah.
the answer is Chick-fil-A. At the end of the
Mhm.
day, it just is. As
Yeah.
much as I do like Cane's. I do.
They're
If I'm-
toast.
if
They're
I'm-
toast.
If I'm going
Oh.
for like
Yeah.
out with the friends and we're going for like just a comfort meal, I think Cane's is the answer for me. Like I can go get the box combo and get double toast, and like I'm gonna eat that all day. You know what I mean? Like that's so good. But I'm also not against the spicy sandwich and fries.
Mm-hmm.
The fries at Chick-fil-A are far better.
Can
Far
I put
better.
Can I put you in the audience on something? Okay, if just try this the next time. If you're maybe bored at Chick-fil-A, you don't know what to get. Get a spicy sandwich. Okay, Colby Jack cheese, bacon. Add bacon to it, and then get it with a honey roasted barbecue sauce. It'll change your life. Like I honestly think it's probably one of the top 3 things you could get at a restaurant.
Like-
Phenomenal. And I always get extra pickles, but some people don't like that.
Wow.
Okay, write that down. Take it to the next Chick-fil-A store, and just
I feel like they should name that after you.
yeah,
They should.
I'll take it.
We have to move on to another
Yep.
question, or
Mhm.
Pastor Luke will talk about this all day. Okay? Here's the next question. If one of the youth pastors were a kangaroo, which one would it be? And I'll say this, and why? And why?
That's a dangerous and why.
Yeah. Well, you want to give reasons, right? Like you can't just
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I think Pastor Luke's the kangaroo."
Yeah.
Why though? Like why are you the kangaroo?
I
Why,
mean,
why is Michaela the kangaroo?
It's
at the end of this?
Jake. Like I think Luke, you could probably back me up here.
I'll wait. I'll go
Yeah,
last.
let's hear the
I'll go
reasons
last.
though.
Okay, so I'm gonna go more like personality. Kangaroos, like when you think of them, what do you think of?
They jump.
They bounce.
Okay, yeah. I feel like they have like a more uppity like beat, you know. Like I feel like they're kind of like cheerful and like funny, and I would say playful. Playful is like
Okay.
a
Sure.
Would you not agree?
I've just heard that they're mean. No, and I'm not saying
Oh my gosh. No, that's
I've in all the like things that I've seen, like people can get
no. I'm on
punched by a
Michaela's side
kangaroo or
now.
something. Okay,
I
fine.
have-
No.
I appreciated where she was going with this. At first, I was like,
No,
"Whoa,
no.
why am I the kangaroo?"
Happy,
After that
joyful.
explanation, wow, like I was flattered. And then you just say, "Oh, they're the rudest
I'm not
things."
saying that has to do with you.
You guys,
Who's
20
the
seconds.
Who's the kangaroo then? Who is it?
I can't say.
Answer it.
I said I'd go last. I need to hear your
Okay, final answer.
you're the king.
It's Jake.
Thanks.
Yeah, there you go.
Your reasoning.
I feel like
really
I just
puts me
caused
at
some
ease.
tension here. I'm not gonna lie. Who
No.
put that question in?
That was Mia.
Mia, you caused some
Saban.
tension on the
Thanks,
youth
Mia.
team here.
Okay, but look it up, and I'm not saying this reflects anyone on this team, but I think kangaroos are. I think they're kind of mean. I heard they're aggressive.
Okay, you're not
But
wrong
when you
on
watch
that.
a cartoon of it,
That's what I'm saying. Of like,
Winnie the Pooh.
think about it when it's like when you're like a little kid. How do you envision them?
Yeah,
That's what
For
I'm
sure.
saying.
That's true.
Okay, that's my final answer.
Okay.
Now you guys go.
that's good.
We need to move on from
Yeah.
that before I start crying. Okay. Next question. Favorite person from the Bible? Favorite person from the Bible? This is kind of a tough one because there's maybe.
If anyone doesn't say,
Well, listen.
Jesus.
Maybe we'll say, and maybe this sounds wrong for me to say this, but of course we're all going to say Jesus.
Yeah.
Can we just say who is our second favorite?
Yeah,
Let's
good,
do that. Who's
good.
our second
Yeah,
favorite
that's
person
good.
from the Bible? Maybe just the character that we love their story, we love the journey that they were on. Who is your second favorite person from the Bible? Pastor Luke.
I'm gonna have to go with the timeless classic. My guy David. Okay, he's just. I mean, I just think. Wouldn't you want to be known as a man after God's own heart? Like, does some cool things, kills Goliath, like just an absolute beast. Lives in the wilderness. He's got a little group of posses. Like, yeah, he messes up,
Yeah.
whatever. But at the end of the day, like, he's known as a man after God's heart. Like,
Yeah.
I just think like, man, if I could have that written down in a book, that would be read for thousands and thousands of years. It's not a bad way to be memorized. Like,
No.
that's who I'm going with.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, thanks.
No, I like that a lot. Michaela.
You know, I'm gonna have to go with another like classic. I'd probably say Joseph.
Oh,
Sorry, was that who you were
Yeah.
gonna say?
nice.
His story
Like
though.
Jesus' father.
Yes. Yes.
Different Joseph.
Okay.
But like classic like underdog story, and you read it and
Yeah.
you're just like, if you want to see the hand of God in someone's life to take someone from literally nothing and turn like the worst situation into something that only God could orchestrate, like
Mhm.
that's it.
It's
So
a good one.
That's
Joseph.
super good.
It's a good
Yeah.
one.
Dang, I love that.
Jake?
I was also gonna say Joseph, but I
Wow,
feel
what's your
like
third favorite?
yeah, I need to go third favorite now. I really love Moses' story. I think Moses is an awesome character from the Bible. I just love the journey that he was on. Gosh, this is tough. I really was gonna go with Joseph.
I mean, you can still pick Joseph. That's really fair. What would
could
be
do the
your
other
reasons?
Joseph.
Well, yeah, I think I'll do that. I'm gonna just switch Joseph's.
Yeah.
So now my favorite is Jesus's stepfather,
Kind of stepfather. Yeah.
Joseph.
Because he doesn't leave Mary.
Yeah,
He's a good guy.
he's a good guy.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, he needed the angels to remind him. It's like, dude, come on.
It's true.
But I'm gonna go with Joseph, Jesus' earthly dad.
Yeah.
So that's who I'm going with. But
Boom.
good characters from the Bible. Guys, a few more questions. Getting a little bit more serious here, okay? On the themes of the Bible, okay? Someone asked, and I actually love this question, and Michaela, we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording, but how do I grow in my prayer life? I think that this is such a, really, practically speaking, such a good question, because I think at youth we talk about that all the time, and maybe you hear that, and maybe as we're talking about like in connect groups or whatever, like, you grow in your prayer life. Like, this is how you really hear the voice of God. This is how he leads you, guides you, all that type of stuff. But sometimes you just have those thoughts of like, okay, but how do I actually do that though? Like, when it comes down to it, how do I actually grow in my prayer life? What does that look like when I'm at home or wherever to actually spend time with Jesus, growing in my prayer life? So, Michaela, what are some of your thoughts when it comes to prayer life?
Oh, yeah. First of all, really sweet question. Honestly, I love that. And I feel like that's a question that maybe we think like, oh, I'm the only one that ever thinks that, or it maybe feels like insecure of like, I don't know how to pray. But honestly, so many more people, students, like think that question, I think more than we think too. And so I would say, if you think about it, right, like when we're, in school and we're in a sport, let's say basketball. I did basketball when I was in high school. But when I think about that question of like, okay, how do I become a really good basketball player? Like the answer is practice. And that's kind of where it starts, right? Is I'm not going to just become this excellent basketball player and just be like draining threes overnight, right? Like it comes of like the showing up and putting in the work, but also like kind of feeling out like the awkward drills and like the awkwardness of like, I don't know how to like dribble at first. And like, that's what you start with is like those baby steps. And I remember our youth pastor growing up in Little Falls, and just something that he challenged me in, and this is honestly was my like baby step in my prayer life, is I was at that spot where I was like, ain't no way, like I'm going to pray in front of these super cool, like high schoolers, like they have it all together. And I don't know how to pray. I don't even know like what that looks like. And he just said like, pray one sentence, and it doesn't have to be this life altering moment or the most beautiful prayer that we could ever pray, but just start with like one sentence of like, Lord, I thank you for this day. And I think it just looks like from there, growing in those baby steps, but also like bringing him into your everyday life. I remember when I was in high school, like a lot of the times it'd be while I was walking through like the hallways, or honestly, sometimes like going to the bathroom, like just in like the most like mundane times, or if I'm like struggling with a test, like, Lord, like, could you just help me like get through this test? Lord, could you help me get through the next few hours of my day? Like I'm struggling here. And just bringing him in to your every hour, your every moment, whatever that looks like. So that would be mine.
Super good.
Yeah.
That is good. It's like a muscle that you have to work out, like anything. And the more you do it, the stronger it gets. I think people have a tendency to not like to do what they aren't good at. I know that that's like true for me. I don't love playing games that I'm not really good at. And we maybe do that with prayer sometimes. Like we don't know how to do it, and so we just don't do it. And the trick is like just start, like you said, Michaela, and then get around some people who do it and like see what it looks like. And surround yourself with people who pray and are comfortable with it and that you can learn from. And so simpler than you think, but also really good to be thinking about.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and even kind of along those same lines, someone else asked, how do you know when you're hearing the voice of God versus just your own thoughts? And so even within that conversation of like your prayer life, there's times where maybe we feel like, okay, I'm spending time with God, but these thoughts that I'm having, how do I know if it's me or if it's God or like somewhere in the middle? Like it can be confusing sometimes. And so when you guys think about that, what advice would you have maybe for students when it comes to hearing the voice of God, and how do you find clarity in that?
Yeah, I always think of it like there's a few checklists, because I don't know about you guys, but I have never heard the audible voice of God. I don't know
Right.
if you, no, okay. So it's not very common. There are people who do, and that's really cool. But primarily, like God speaks through the whisper, through the quiet moments. He speaks through like what the world today might call like our conscience, like that inner voice in our heads. And so when you have a relationship with Jesus, the Holy Spirit dwells within you, and then he uses that kind of that gut feeling, and not even, it's more than a feeling because we don't want to go off of feelings, but it's that inside voice that we have that all of a sudden starts bringing to mind thoughts or ideas or maybe a name of someone. And so I always think like, okay, if you're wondering if that's God, like, is that a thought you would have had on your own? Like, is it like, man, I'm just really hungry right now and pizza? Like, well, I probably would have just been thinking that on my own. But if like I'm sitting there and all of a sudden someone comes to mind and I just feel like I should pray for them, like I don't naturally think that in my day to day. So it's probably God maybe saying like, hey, we should do that. So is that a natural thought, or is this something that's a little bit out of the ordinary that like in the setting that I'm in right now, I wouldn't normally think? Like that's one way God can speak. Sometimes he can speak through people to confirm some things and maybe pray over you, or just like, man, that was really cool. Yeah, I just needed that, an encouragement or a specific word. And then also if it's a thought that you're having maybe in the back of your mind is like, does it line up with God's word and his character? Like, does it line up with what it says in Scripture? Because like he's not going to tell us to go steal something. Like he's not going to tell us to go be mean to someone. So it's got to line up with his word, and it's got to line up with his character. Like, does this line up with the character of God? And if it does, then there's a good chance like he's speaking to you through that inner voice. And so use that, lean into it, because he loves to speak to his people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would say even to add to that, just like you're saying, right? I talk a lot of the times with, even like in our Connect groups, I talk about nudges with like my girls of that person that keeps coming to mind. The things that, you're probably not thinking like, I should really go sit with this person, and this is going to take like a lot of boldness for me to do. That's probably not going to be something that like is just in your conscience, as you're saying. And so, but I think it's those nudges, and that's why I feel like it's so important to create moments of stillness with the Lord too, so that you can pay attention like to those nudges. Otherwise, if we're just constantly going, we never just get to kind of assess like, actually, this is kind of weird. Like this person keeps coming to mind. And so that's a lot of time of like what we kind of talk about in our Connect groups of like, it's those nudges, like that gut feeling that you have. And, but yeah, everything that you said, Luke, was great. Yeah.
That's super good. I also think too, and maybe this isn't answered, it kind of goes along with the last couple questions, but a story I like to even relate that to is just like my younger brother and his wife live in Ecuador, and like I don't see him a whole lot because of that, of course. So in order to like stay in touch, we have to talk on the phone. Like we call each other a lot, and like once a week, usually every other week, we'll try to catch up, talk on the phone. And if I spent the entire conversation talking, and like every time we're on the phone, I talked, and I would just nonstop was like, here's what's going on with mom and dad, here's what's going on at church, and here's what's going on with all this other stuff right now. It's so good, man. I miss you, blah, 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 blah. Hang up. Like, he would know everything about what's going on in my life, but I wouldn't know a single thing of what he's maybe trying to say to me. And so I think there is such an important part of even our prayer life and also hearing the voice of God that requires us to be still and just listen and say, all right, Lord, like, what do you want? What do you want to speak to me today? Like, what are maybe some of the things in my life that I need to hear? Because God already knows everything that's going on in our life, and he loves to hear our voice. He loves to hear us pray to him. And so we do. And so we bring our requests before the Lord, and we bring these things before him. And we say, all right, Lord, here are the things that are going on in my life. But also God already knows what's going on. Like, it's not a surprise to him. But I think it's so good and so healthy for us in our spiritual life to say, all right, Lord, what do you want to speak to me? And just taking time to be quiet. And so I'll ask my younger brother, hey, what's going on? How's it going on down there? Like, how are things going? How's work going? How's Abby doing? Like, asking all these other questions so I can get to know him more too, and understanding just where he's at. And so if we want to keep growing, just like in our faith, it does require us to just kind of slow down and say, all right, Lord, would you speak to me? Would you help me understand? And then once you start to receive those nudges, it's filtering through that, like, all right, does this line up with God's character, his word? And I think when you do that, you can really start to just grow in the element of faith. But it does require us to, like, take time on our own to just sit down with God and say, all right, Lord, speak to me. Like, help me understand where you're going. And sometimes we don't always know. And praying for clarity maybe isn't always just the easiest thing. And sometimes we don't need that. Sometimes we just need to know that we have to trust him and just what he's doing. And so there's so many good questions in here. And I wish we could take all of these and spend the next hour talking through all of these different questions, because there are so many good ones. And students, as you have more questions, keep writing them in. Like, send them in to us, DM us, text Pastor Michaela, Luke, or myself, whoever, and we'd love to take more time, because we're going to be putting out more content here on YouTube through Youth Plus that we're excited, or the Youth Tube,
Maybe.
whatever you want to call it. You get to kind of pick. Okay, last question though. Now that I'm thinking about it, favorite bubbler flavor. Okay, because I'm tired and I need to go grab one after this.
Would you actually drink one at this time?
You see, I did the other day, and then it actually kept me up a long time. So
Yeah.
maybe I shouldn't.
My cutoff is like 3.
Yeah, that's a good time.
Okay.
I know kids right now, they show up to youth with a Lonnie.
Yeah. That's bold.
At like
That's
6:30,
bold.
I'd be up until the next morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But
Okay, favorite bubbler flavor.
it's gonna be the peach.
Yeah.
For sure. Hands
Easy.
down.
Easy. That's for sure. Don't do that face.
There's no face.
It's
no.
number one.
There's
No.
that's like a disbelief face. Is it that hard to believe?
It's like this. Oh my gosh, that's the best flavor ever. I couldn't agree more.
That's not what it felt like, but it's fine. It's
Peach?
Yeah. Passion fruit was
Let's
my
go.
number one.
Mm,
I literally drank one. It was this past weekend.
yeah.
It's number 3 now. It
That's-
dropped, actually.
That's the one that got me hooked on bubbler.
Do you think that it's just because it's the new shiny thing around town that you put it as your number? I'm just gonna preface with this, because when watermelon came out, that was your number one.
It was really good.
So
Watermelon's a great summer flavor.
So now that peach
And they
is out
released
and
it
you're
right in the
saying it's your
summer?
number one, I just want to know, like, is it like because it's new, it's exciting, or
No,
would you say
because
it's honestly the best one? That's
honestly number one.
okay.
Because Tropical Dreamer has been a steady number 2.
Very steady.
A steady number
Yeah.
2. And that number 1 spot just keeps getting flip-flopped.
So
Like,
interesting.
Yeah, but like, and Tropical Dreamer is not anything shiny, nothing fancy. It's just consistent, steady, good.
It's
Like,
super good.
yeah. It's,
I remember that one came out. That
but
was
peach right
life-changing.
now.
Okay. No, that's good.
Technically, it's peach raspberry. For
You
those-
can't
and I know
really
some
taste
some
the
people are a little
raspberry.
upset that you can't drink the raspberry.
Yeah.
Or taste it or
Yeah.
whatever. I'm fine with it. I like
Yeah.
peach flavor.
What would you say, Jake? Since it's not
Passion fruit-
peach.
Yeah, passion fruit wonder is easily number one.
Solid.
I remember the
Solid.
first time I had it. I don't think that I did anything else the rest of the day.
Where
I
were
was
you
just
at?
so taken back by how good it was.
Do you
I
remember-
needed to just take the rest of the day off and just
Wow.
process it. I was at church.
It
And
was
I
a
don't think I
Wednesday.
did any other work
You
the
were
rest of
the
the
day.
day.
Wow.
If you guys remember the night Jake
It's
wasn't there.
the yellow one, and it's so good. It's a 9.7 out of 10. Tropical Dreamer 9.4 out of 10. I have all these in a note, which
Yeah, I've seen it.
yeah, and you keep changing yours. Just you rate it and then just keep it.
No, you can.
That's because there's a new contestant.
It changes as
Should
the
it change
seasons-
the other scores though?
Well, if we're gonna look at rankings, then yeah, because like if Peach moves in and she's number one,
But
then
there
yeah,
should be room above the other one to just slide it in. Right there.
Sometimes
You know what I mean?
I taste one and I'm like, well, it's been a minute and this isn't that good. You know what I'm talking about. This has happened.
Cherry. If you, no. If cherry, dude, I'm sorry. If cherry is your number one,
I know a lot of people that love the like a lot of people.
just come to youth on Wednesday. You need
We'll
to
pray
be
for
at the
you.
altar.
Yeah.
That's
That's
rough.
tough. That's tough. Speaking of
being at the altar, this next Wednesday, we have youth, and we would love to see you guys there. Hopefully, you guys liked the first edition of Youth Plus. We're gonna hopefully be pumping out more of these episodes, Youth Plus or the Youth Tube, whichever you wish to call it. We're gonna keep recording these and sending these out. We just love to be answering guys' questions. Keep sending them in. By the way, text Pastor Michaela or Luke or myself. DM us on Instagram, wherever, and we'd love to just see more of your questions. So hope to see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for joining Youth Plus. How's that, Joe?